Hi guys, welcome to another long overdue edition of TSA Talks. This is where we talk to people from around us, Colombo, Sri Lanka, wherever, to figure out what makes them tick and what makes things work in the marketing, creative, content space. Today we have with us Amantha and we have with us Stefan. I think both of them have very sort of overlapping career paths, but also they've been able to build a position for themselves as personal brands, but also as entrepreneurs, creatives, that really sets them apart, as well. Not only in Colombo, but Sri Lanka as a whole. So let's quickly maybe just start off by maybe getting them to introduce themselves, and we'll jump right into it after that. So Amantha, why don't we start with you? Why don't you do a quick intro, just sort of introduce yourself to people who might not know you, whatever it is.
So my name is Amantha. I'm a Babilena Tharuwa. So I'm a stand-up comedian. I do sing a bit as well. I'm a content creator and just started my venture into entrepreneurship as well. I run my own marketing agency alongside my partner Shehan. Yeah, that's about it.
You want to tell the name of the...
It's called Organic.
Right.
It's not fruits and vegetables. It's a marketing company.
We'll get you warmed up, don't worry. Don't worry. Stefan, how about you? Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi guys, my name is Stefan, also known as visual storyteller. So I come from a very hardcore corporate background for almost like 8 to 9 years. But last year I transitioned into starting my own, two of my own production houses. And I launched my marketing agency this year, and I'm launching another brand in a month. I'm not going to talk about it, but I'll reveal that next month. So I'm like 50-50, like I have two kind of characters. One is a very hardcore corporate marketing PR person, but at the same time I'm a filmmaker and a content creator as well, and also a public speaker.
As a content creator and a marketing consultant, I've worked with multiple brands, like let's say Face Hotel to Driveline. We actually started marketing for Driveline, which is a car service station. And through Organic, we have about 10 clients, both corporates as well as startups, like The Butler, Kannadi. And obviously, like for promotional content, I've worked with some big brands as well, like Burger King and stuff like that. But yeah, I've also had like quite a corporate career, like about 4 to 5 years. 1 year in the agency space, because I feel like that's very necessary as well if you want to be an entrepreneur, especially in the marketing industry. And I've worked for corporations as well, from London Stock Exchange Group to Capital Maharaja. But yeah, my first job was at Vijay Newspapers. I was a columnist, I was a journalist, and I handled their social media platforms. And back then there was no chat GPT. So basically what we had to do was we had to read like a very boring article and just come up with, I don't know, a catchy headline or something so that people would want to read the full boring article. So I think that's how like all this whole creativity thing also started. But yeah, that's just a little bit about.
How about your journey? What has it been like?
So for me, I would say like my career journey actually started from Aiken Spence. This is like 2018-19, I think. So I come from originally I come from a sales and business development background. That's what I was doing at Aiken Spence, and then I was all of a sudden because anyway I was part of the public speaking organization of Aiken Spence. That's where the public speaking career also started, and then 2 years down the line they came to me with a proposal saying they want to appoint me as the vice president of PR for Aiken Spence public speaking organization. And so I took that. So I was the youngest VP to come out of Aiken Spence actually. So and then after that, when I was handling that PR role is when I actually had an interest towards marketing. And then after COVID, I left and then I joined Rubik. I was done with the corporate life and I wanted to join an agency, and I joined Rubik and I was working there under Arshad. And then Arshad came to me with an opportunity of, hey, do you want to be the brand face of Multi-Like on TikTok? I had no idea. And then I was like, okay, fine. And then man, I did some cringe content for them. Like my friends were like, what are you doing, bro? But at the same time, for me, I didn't feel like it was cringe because that was the first time I stepped into an unknown space, and I was just trying to figure myself out in terms of where I belong when it comes to content creation. But now when I look back at it, it's so cringe, bro. I would never. But at that time, now when I look back and realize, in order to get to where you are to get to a really good place, you need to go through that cringe phase. Otherwise, you're not going to learn what's fits and what's right for you. So after that, that's where the marketing life actually started. So after Rubik, I moved to being Schindler's, one of his Schindler's at Creative, and then I came back to the corporate with Cinnamon Life.
Right.
Yeah.
So you've had a pretty sort of dynamic journey there as well.
Yeah, all over the place.
I mean, obviously, like a lot of people might know you, Amantha, from like your time on TikTok during that space. So like, what made you start that actually? Like, what was like, all right, I'm just going to do it now, kind of?
No, so like Stefan also, I've been in the corporate field for a long time, right? And I've always wanted to do something on my own, but then there are certain things you have to do in order to kind of be a full-fledged marketer. So with Vijay newspapers, the creative aspect was touched upon, right? And that was my basic introduction to social media marketing. And at London Stock Exchange Group, I just handle comms. So internal comms, corporate communications for the whole group. That is, and it's B2B, basically, right? And working for an agency helped me with obviously meta ads and all of that. And Capital Maharaja, I handled the hospitality sector because they're Fox Resorts. And while doing this during COVID, I actually just created content to make my friends laugh because I just find so much joy in being the funny guy. And it just blew up. And I thought to myself, like, cool, but like this is going well. And a lot of like influencers, what they do is once they get a good follower base or whatever, they might like, I don't know, start a YouTube channel or I don't know, even start a podcast. So cool, that's all good. But what I did was, okay, attention is the new currency. I know that, let's say, 100,000 people are watching me. Let me start my own marketing agency because I know out of curiosity even, at least 15 people will come and check my service out to see if I'm all like talk or if I'm actually good or not. So yeah, it's just started like content for fun, basically.
Yeah. I feel like that's probably the best place to start content from as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if you try to be someone like someone you see, it ends up being very unrewarding as well at the end of the day. So you have to do something, you feel like I'm doing it because this is a part of who I am.
Yeah, for sure.
So I mean, for the both of you, I mean, you both can kind of answer to this as well, but like, how did you sort of navigate the process of figuring out this is my style right now? This is what I've actually been able to productize almost. Because from your side, the organic content is also touched with your sort of style. Like they're coming for you at the end of the day and what you bring. Same goes for you, but you'll have very different styles. So how did you guys navigate that process for really being headstrong and stubborn about being like, no, I don't care what anyone says, this is what I do, and I do it really, really, really well, and it works. Those three ideas and those three sort of anchors, how did you guys find for yourselves? Maybe we can start, it's a bit of a long question, but we can start here and then.
So for me, I love this question. So for me, as I said, I started off as a content creator on TikTok, right? So I was doing for brands like Multilac, then I Sports Nutrition Hub, and then so I was doing on TikTok. I was doing the content creation part for like 3-4 years. But later on, that type of content is not what I would upload on my personal brand. Then, because I was trying to please a crowd, like feeding them of what they want to see. It's not what I want to create, because like I didn't enjoy doing it. I just did it for the money, because at the time, honestly, I was like honestly broke, to be honest. Because working a corporate job, it's really tough. The pay is very bad. So I was just doing whatever I can, but I was learning on the process. But on my personal brand, I was doing filmmaking, cinematography, and those type of content. What I realized is when I moved those type of filmmaking, cinematography content to TikTok, I started losing my engagement, because I built a platform around people who watch cringe and like, you know, these funny trends and stuff. And then I realized, honestly, it came to a point where, okay, fine, now you have to take a decision between, do you do this and like, or do you pick this? Because I know if I pivot to this change, I'm going to lose my engagement. I'm going to lose the brand collaboration side of it, because no one would want to do this type of content. But I really bit my tongue, and I was like, I need to do this, because otherwise, like, I'm lying to myself. So I stopped TikTok content creation. The last brand I was onboarded with was Laundromat. Yeah. After that, I completely stopped it. And then, like, now my TikTok is zero. Like, if I upload a video, it goes up to like 80 to 200K. Now it's just like 300 views.
And you're completely, you decided that was the sacrifice I have to make to stay true to what I want to do.
Yeah, the thing is, like, the future was dark. I didn't know like where this would go, because in Sri Lanka, honestly, like when you say the word cinematographer, filmmaking, like it's very okay. Like what are you trying to do? You know, brands and all are very sort of like reluctant to like collaborate and do content. But I knew like I am going to do this, and like I don't give a shit what other people think or say. Even in cinematography, I was taking a style which was never seen upon in Sri Lanka. It was a very different kind of style. But that's what brought joy to me. Like I was excited to like do it, create it, and just upload it. And then slowly on Instagram, not TikTok, on Instagram, I started building a small following, and then that just slowly grew. And now like I'm very glad that I took that decision, because it's been like almost like 3-4 years. But now brands reach out to me because I'm this person and I do this type of content, because like they don't want to collaborate with other creators who are doing the same thing on TikTok. It's the same thing, it's saturated. But now they are like, we are coming to you because the way you use sounds or colors or tell the story, this is what we want. So it was a very hard like change to like make, but I'm very glad that I made it.
It was a leap of faith, right?
Yeah,
At the end of the day,
100%,
you can't predict the future, so you jump into it and see how it goes. I mean, how was it for you? Because you guys are, to me, like two sides of the same coin. The coin being creative, because people want what he wants, but people obviously want what you have to offer as well. So for you, I mean, how did you balance it out into making? Because to me, it feels like this is hard, like trying to make humorous content.
For sure,
I personally feel like that is one of the most difficult things to do, because humor is like this thing that if the temperature is wrong in the room, it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
Exactly. It's like boom, gone. Like no one finds it funny anymore.
Everyone's going to kind of enjoy good music, right? You come and sing. If you sound good, they're gonna enjoy. But like, let's say if you have a shit day and you come to one of my comedy shows and I just, make the wrong joke, I'm screwed for life. You know? So yes, you are right. Like trying to be humorous is really difficult. But there are two aspects of this. Right now, as a consultant, obviously I take the brand into consideration, think about their persona and highlight their USPs. That's a total different thing for each specific brand. It's a different way, right? But for me, what I did for my personal brand is I became a friend to everyone. So like I would just talk to people like as if they know me for like the longest time, and I would just vent and I would just talk about stuff. And that sort of built this trust, because I would not also lie about stuff. Like if a brand or a product is shit, I would tell it as it is. That's why it's like a love-hate relationship with me as well. I'm sure people also know, like, not like everyone is a fan of me. So, but they watch everything though. But so because of that, brands also started approaching me saying, "Yeah, can you just like talk about this thing?" And even through marketing, it really benefited, and it was easy for me as a content creator as well. Because let's say another content creator, right? If you're going to shoot a product video, you have to pay for editors, you have to go to the shoot location, change outfits, all of that. I just need to get on bed and be shirtless and just talk about it, right?
Yeah,
because
100%.
That's because I was just authentic, and the way I spoke was as a friend, and it really worked for me.
So actually, I got a warning letter from one of these companies I worked with. So the reason I got the warning letter was, so there was a meeting where like the leadership was not there, but obviously they entrusted us with going ahead with certain set of creatives for a big campaign we were handling. And then obviously, like I felt like the agency, what they proposed, I really liked it. And then I felt like we find it's very innovative, it's new, it's very authentic. It's not like one of these like day-to-day like like campaigns or like creatives you do. It was very different, and it was very authentic. I was like, okay, let's go ahead with it. And then that kind of backfired, where one of the leadership people who does not know or understand marketing at all, who doesn't have any sort of design or strategic thinking sense, considered it was shit. And then they were like, who the hell gave the approval? And then I was like, yeah, I gave the approval because like I, as a creator, I solely believed, okay, fine, this is something new and we could have tested it out. And then I got a warning letter saying, and then I was called in to the HR one day and I got a warning letter saying, we are giving you a warning letter because you did not follow company protocols with approvals. I'm like, yeah, but not something you should be giving a warning letter. You can look at it from an aspect where, okay, fine, like a person from your team took the risk of trying something new. It didn't work. We didn't even upload it. it just like backfired between the leadership team. It didn't go up on socials.
Oh, I thought you went live.
No, it went
okay.
live. It didn't. I mean, yeah,
okay,
no,
that's
no.
spicy because
Yeah.
that's like full politics, right?
It's completely from a place of ego.
Yeah.
Like, okay, fine. If you don't like, for me, if I was in that leadership role, I would look at it. Okay, fine. One of my team members tried something new. It didn't work out. Fine. Like next time, just get my consent. But it's all cool. Like it's not an issue where like I would have given a warning letter, because what's gonna happen there is that person will never take a stand to make a decision on his on his own, right? And that's like I don't want that. Like I want my team to take risks and take decisions like of their own, but obviously like have some thinking sense. But yeah, that was a very sort of a not cool moment for me.
So this is really like honestly timely, because like even for us, right, like our whole thing with the team is that we want to hire talented people, let them be themselves and understand like how to give value to a client. If they know those things, they're going to have a really great time with us. Like even now, like for example with Praveen, who's behind the camera, and the team in the production team, they're working on stuff for some new things we're doing in the next 2-3 months that's coming out. Right. But like it only works if they take responsibility and ownership for it and thinks of it from the point of view of what brings the maximum benefit to the company. That should be rewarded. Okay. Yes, like you said, it should go through certain like checks internally, whatever. But that shouldn't be like discouraged.
Yeah.
That's 100%. Like 100% thing. But it brings me to my next question actually. So now you guys are in the creative industry, but are expected to bring real tangible results.
Yeah.
How do you guys balance this out? Because it is one thing to pitch an idea and get initial buy-in from a client. It's another thing when it comes to executing it. Another thing when you report back with like, here's the tangible ROI or the return on ad spend or whatever it is that you're hoping to get from this. So why don't you guys walk me through, because you all are fully immersed in this culture as like business owners yourself. So why don't you guys take me through that process for you? How is that like normally?
You want to go ahead, bro? Go for it. You start, bro.
Okay, so for me, I look at it in certain types of ways. One of the examples I can give is I can cook a really creative campaign resonating with really good storytelling and stuff. But for an example, if there is not a proper sales team or a marketing team from the client's end who can take that asset I've created and distribute it in the right strategic ways, whatever I cook is not going to make sense. Because like at the end of the day, anyone can make a great video and upload it, but if there is no proper plan to distribute it to the right audience or to the right like achievable destinations, it's not going to be much effective. So for me, from one of the companies, what our strict policies, we will give you, when you come to us with a requirement, we will give you an entire like a plan, like brand positioning in terms of content and visuals, not in terms of like marketing or sales. We don't do that. So we will give you the entire plan, but what you do taking that asset is up to you, because we don't guarantee you sales or visibility. Because if we did that, if I guaranteed a client visibility and like good like a sales target point of thing, I wouldn't be charging you 5 lakhs, I'll be charging you 5 million, because I know like I'm going to bring you this much of virality, this much of engagement and this much of guaranteed sales. Then like you need to pay me like 5 million, bro, not like 5 lakhs. So again, we don't do that. So we clearly communicate to the client, we don't do this. But from the marketing agency, obviously then the conversation is like different. Now the conversation goes, okay, fine, what are we doing as an agency to the client that is really results driven, not just doing a bunch of content. So obviously there's a couple of metrics that we're working on how we can measure it. Obviously the client has to also be transparent with us, how like it has changed like the engagement or like PPC or whatever those things. And then we are working on certain metrics which will help us measure the engagement and the results. So it's a bit of a like tricky conversation to have, but like it really depends on the project.
No, it's like both parties, like you can't clap with one hand.
Exactly, you can't clap,
Because I think the ultimate goal is to create something that's aligned with the brand positioning, but also the kind of specific audience subsection that they want to get into, right? Like, I mean, there are multiple types, for example, like let's take Carnage as an example. You can hit a female market with certain piece and the male market with but like the communication and the visuals in the sort of maybe the initial pitch would need to communicate this. So you all manage that from that point of view, and then when it comes to the results driven side, you probably look at organic engagement, organic reach. Maybe if you put on an ad, you look at maybe what's the click-through rate here at the moment, things like that, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, for you, how is it? Because you can correct me if I'm wrong here as well, but the style of content that you are providing through organic it's very specific.
Yeah.
So how do you have that conversation to convince the client, like, here's where the creativity comes in and here's how we are going to be pushing for that result to come in based on your exact demographic that you need, a positioning or tone that you need to hit? How do you manage that?
Yeah, so see, there are two aspects right now. There's one, me as a content creator, what I do, and the other thing is through organic, right? As a organic content marketing agency, we do not say, okay, this is the target audience we'll target. What we do is we just help you build a community. And this is all KPIs are given to the client after like 2 months of studying. You can't just randomly be like, I'm going to give you this much, engagement, this much reach, this much conversions. What we can do is we'll say that 5,000 people will watch your video without any influencers being utilized, without any ads being utilized. But all 5,000 people will know all your USPs. That's what we provide. Because I feel like every piece of content needs to have some sort of value. Not every piece of content should generate a lead, but every piece of content should have some value. So all the USPs are highlighted and that brand persona is given. So if that brand was a person, who would he or she be? This is what we provide through organic content. And we just take our 10 clients in different sectors. We do not have clients that clash as well. And we just help them build a community. And once that audience knows about your brand, they're 100% about to like go and check your page out or even try your services out. And what we have said is, cool, I can guarantee you that this many people will watch the content and this many people will visit your website. But after that, converting it, the successful conversion is done from your end.
Yeah, 100%.
You get what I mean? So if they want to dive in deeper, then we can check the bounce rate at the website and see at which part they left and all. But what I can guarantee is, let's say 5,000, 10,000 people will watch your content and at least about 2,000 people will visit your website or call your hotline. This is a guarantee after 2 months we give. But as a content creator, it's a total different thing. I do not like it at all when like agencies tell me this is the brief, do it exactly like this. Then what's the point? Then hire actors, no?
Yeah.
We know our audience best. I know what my audience will like. Now imagine I do some ASMR or something, people will be like, what is Amantha doing? Right? Like you get what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
I'll do a mukbang or mukbang. What is it called, bro? Mukbang.
Yeah.
When was the last time I ate on camera, bro?
Yeah, 100%. So you have to balance both, I think, from your side. And what I'm understanding again here is that you guys focus very heavily on the top of the funnel and getting people aware about certain things.
Exactly.
Right? The conversion, like you said. And I think people don't understand this when it comes to marketing. People assume that when you engage with a marketing entity, like maybe two of y'all or like agencies, bigger scale agencies, that immediately conversions are going to start rolling through the door, like can't wait. No, but like what they need to understand is like there are specialized teams who work on specialized sort of areas of the sales funnel and they optimize it, and it's a very collaborative effort. So people assume, I work with agency, you have a magic bullet, like I'm gonna be guaranteed getting like 10x on like return on spend. But that understanding has to come from these transparent conversations that I had. I think in Sri Lanka a lot of people are not still there for that kind of chat to be like, yo guys, listen, we are coming in here for this very specific thing we're really good at. We're not going to offer you 10,000 things under a company name.
It's more of like explaining what your brand is, what your brand stands for, this is what we sell, and all of that just through storytelling. That is what 100%. We do.
Okay, so I have a question for Amantha.
Go for it.
Right?
Love it.
I know you don't like to talk about this way too much, but like when it comes to sort of figuring out this business direction, what have been some things from your stand-up career that's actually helped?
Just creativity, bro. Stand-up comedy, I'm someone who doesn't have any material plan. And that is very weird. Like I just go in and I just say what I need to say.
But that's what works for you, right?
That does, And this is like, my life is very eventful. And like, I'm blessed in a way. It's a blessing and a curse. So I have a lot of stories.
Nice.
And I just know how to articulate it in a way that another person will understand.
Okay.
Right? And that has really helped me. Just making people like feel things, understand things, that is very like necessary. Through stand-up comedy, I make people like laugh or sometimes put motivation para kudar or even stand-up comedy. And like, you know, I can do that through pieces of content as well, even through color or the stories, the tone of voice I use.
Yeah.
And I'm like a comedian as well. I kind of like adapt to certain people. I always think from my consumer's point of view. And let's say if it's for like one brand, I'll put myself into like that persona, and I'll be like, cool, what would my target audience? That is what's necessary. I feel like that a lot of people don't even do that.
Yeah.
They're like, this works, let's continue this.
Yeah.
So I feel like stand-up comedy has really helped me. Not bad.
Okay, so I mean, this brings up another question, right? Like a lot of the brands that we might deal with vary between very niche brands and very mass market brands. And I think we understand the difference between what a mass market company needs and what a niche market company needs. But I mean, just for the benefit of the people who are watching this, I would like to know how you guys manage catering to niche clients and like mass market clients. Specifically, we'll stick with Sri Lanka because it's a different ball game out of that sort of geographic.
Yeah.
But I would like to, because I personally found it extremely interesting and also very like, I shouldn't say this.
Go for it.
I get it as well because we have to like turn into a different tone and like we don't want to like put people down or anything, but we have to kind of
like there is a very like I mean I grew up like I didn't grow up in Colombo, I grew up in like Veyangoda. Right. It was like past fucking Gampaha and I shouldn't swear. Past Gampaha and all that stuff, right? No, so I didn't grow up in Colombo, I grew up in Gampaha. So when I grew up, I like the sunlight commercials and all that, I just assumed this was like the most amazing thing.
Right, okay.
Right? And like it made a big part of my childhood. But when I started getting into marketing, I started working with these bigger corporations with on one-off projects or whatever, like you realize that it's even though I was raised on that, I completely don't agree with the way they do their marketing from 90% of the time. Because their thinking sometimes is a little bit too limiting. It assumes audiences are not intelligent. It treats audience 100%. As like this, like, okay, that's it. This is Colombo and everyone else is like this.
That's it.
And I'm like, I mean, look, like your audiences have changed significantly over the past 20 years. Like now people our age, like I used to think I was young, I'm 30 this year. Like that generation is here now, so why aren't you catering to them? Why aren't you building it up? I get for very niche, like very focused mass market brands like pregnancy brands or things like that. Like outstation, yes, there are certain considerations, but there's a big FMCGs that I feel like could definitely, adjust a little bit to suit them.
I tried bringing this up, like I have my newspaper column called The No BS Marketer, The No Bullshit Marketer. It goes on The Sun, done by Daily Mirror, every Thursday. And I brought this topic up because this is like, it has annoyed me a lot. Let's say jingles, for example. When was the last time, like anytime recent? And obviously there are certain criteria for mass marketers you need to do, like let's say tone of voice. That is, I think, the main thing. Use, familiar faces. But I really I want your opinion about this as well. It's a very good topic, bro.
Very interesting topic.
I don't think everyone just ignores it. I feel like in conversations also people
it's
are just
normalized now.
It's like that's a traditional cut, so let them do their thing. And I'm like, we get it, but let's be honest, everything. I would love to hear your guys.
Production budgets for those?
Bro.
And when we do some creative stuff,
bro, that is one thing that really pisses me off, bro. Because I'm just like, if you all have the money to spend 5 to 7 million on some dumbass commercial like this mom, I'm gonna be very raw, guys. Mom coming, opening the cream cracker biscuit, eating, feeding it to the kid. Okay, how much have you spent? You spent 7 million. When we pitch a campaign that looks international standard in terms of quality, story, execution, everything. We have quoted like 1.2, 1.5. No budget. I'm just like, how much do you think this is gonna cost? And if where are you pulling out the money to spend for 7 million? That's the thing. For me, I don't understand that thinking, because why are you spending unreasonable amounts for stupid campaigns, and why are you not spending reasonable amounts for good campaigns? That is my question to the industry for every brand. Why are you doing this, and what's going wrong? Where is
I feel like people are asleep at the wheel. I feel like the decision makers have just sort of fallen into like, this is what I do. I've done this for 10 years. I'm just going to keep doing this.
Doing it, yeah,
They've
yeah.
made a decision not to bother with it because it messes their service delivery, for example.
True, yeah.
It messes their hiring plans, for example. They can no longer keep people who are not relevant anymore. Like they choose to keep them. So it's like a very systemic issue.
True.
But I'm really grateful. I mean, I would love to hear a little bit more about this as well. But like, I think it just needs to happen with people like our age, which is kind of why we do this podcast, right? Because unless you all express or unless we express our frustrations as well, people would assume it's okay. But the reality is like, no, a lot of people have fallen behind, like fallen asleep on the wheel, and like they're just doing what they've been doing, coming in and doing. And it kind of makes no sense because, like, I mean, look at you guys, right? Like, you guys can name 5 other people who are as talented as you guys. But the reality is they will never get an opportunity because we've been lucky enough to walk through certain doors that they haven't been able to.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
and we still struggle to like get things done the way we want to get it done, especially when it comes to creative content specifically. Because like with like ads and stuff, like you can always systemize it to a point where you can point out with data, okay, here's the way it's going to go. But with the creative, it's like unless you have that taste or unless you have that understanding of how different demographics think, it's very difficult.
Very difficult, yeah.
Very difficult.
Can I give an example?
Yeah.
So for an example, the best example I can give is the Cinnamon Life mass market recruitment campaign we did. Okay, so how we started it was, okay, fine, Cinnamon Life, crazy international project, hospitality project. We need to do some like class content. And then we hired a production house and we did like 4 sort of a commercial this thing. Nothing worked. It was like great production, big money spent, we got actors, we did everything, executed very well. When we uploaded it on LinkedIn, okay, fine. Big directors from other stakeholder companies, they were like, okay, fine, wow, good comments. But did it actually make an effect upon the people we were targeting? Why? No. Not even one person who we were looking upon to hire resonated or connected or like reached out. Then me and my team was like, okay, fine, we need to pivot. What we did was no cameras, only phone. We started coming up with visuals with only singular language. We spoke to them in the way they understand and they resonate to. That's when everyone started walking in. So I feel like you need to really sort of understand who you're trying to talk to as well and talk to them in their nature of language, not just in terms of like copy or anything, but in terms of visuals, music, everything. Because like the moment they see, okay, fine, if I'm a person who wants to go for an interview at Cinnamon, like for a hotel, and I have like 10 other friends, if I resonate to that, boom, I'm going to share it to all those 10. So it's a trickle down effect. So I feel like it's really a manner of understanding who you're talking to in every
100%. What was I going to say? So that idea, I think I remember this campaign.
We did a bunch of like stupid shit.
I remember this campaign. And it really is about knowing who you're talking to and what's actually relevant. And that's usually what gets missed by like mass, like sort of industries. But how do you guys manage that? Because the point being that a high production campaign for a hospitality brand could pay returns significantly more.
100%.
Especially given the way they distribute their ads, for example. But at the same time, we've personally had organic content or UGC that we've developed or bought or whatever it is perform as well. So now the decision making is in your hands at the end of the day, right? On how you want to navigate that problem for your clients. How do you make that call and how do you guys maintain your awareness of what people require as consumers? And how do you balance that? This goes back to the previous question. How do you balance that with what clients need for their brand? And what has been the toughest pitch so far for that?
Toughest pitch so far, in sense like?
In sense of finding out this is topical and relevant, therefore it will perform better. Versus, no, this is what the industry standards are, therefore we have to stick to those standards. How do you all manage that during pitches?
Like before even taking on a client, I always mention that we are not like, if you come as an organic client, they already know what they're in for. I do not stay under industry standards. I'm someone who's very open about it as well. And I'm not saying I know it all, but most of the time what I do is I always get inspiration from, trends or other things from other agencies abroad, right? It's more of like trial and error because but I'm not going to do it myself. I've seen that this has worked over there. But what I usually do is, if you really study what I do, I kind of make it contextual. It's like agile content, but it's the same thing that happens abroad, but that be said in a manner that my target audience will understand. And but most of my clients, when they come and work with me, they know what they're in for. And like, if they're not, I always say, listen,
This is not going to work.
This is not going to work. Because at the end of the day, I want to showcase results as well. And even with organic, after 6 months, we want to show testimonials. We want to show what we have done for each client, right? It's a big thing for us as well. Again, I just don't want to take the money and be like, okay, this is what you want. You want this, we'll do it for you. Right? If a jingle doesn't work, if they ever propose one, I'll be like, no. If you want someone to do exactly what you want, then hire someone else. Because I'm taking this as a project of my own.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I have so many eyes on me, and some people want me to succeed, some people are waiting till I like mess up, right?
Yeah. That's what's beautiful about your current positioning.
Yep.
You get to make those calls. Do you feel the same way? Do you
Yeah.
feel like you get to make those calls?
100%.
Or would you be open to doing some content like the way he does it? Or would it always be fixed in the conversation? No, we can't, like, how do I say it? Like the Carnage one with the suitcase that you did. Like, that was very long form storytelling.
Yeah.
So the storytelling approach he takes is more like punchy, like boom.
Yeah.
But you've taken, like, you've showcased that skill set. So I'm going to assume that's something a client could come to be like, no, I want like the Carnage video, or I wanted like the other Carnage video that's like much more polished and like more like cool, sexy scenes kind of vibe. So how do you manage that? Maybe it's a better question for you, because you're very clear in your positioning, right?
Yeah,
from the get-go, you're very transparent about it. But like, if that occasion came up, how would you manage that? Because it's storytelling at the end.
Storytelling, yeah. So for me, I always ask the client, what is your motive behind this campaign or shoot you're trying to do? Are you trying to announce a sale or a campaign, or are you trying to do just a shoot to announce the drop of a launch? Client, so obviously if the client tells me all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do a shoot to showcase the new products that are coming out, okay, fine, then I'll ask, what's the approach you want to take? Do you want to take a very storytelling approach, or like a normal shoot? And according to the client's budget, I will definitely tell him, okay, for this budget, this is what I can do. For this budget, this is what I can do. But I'm not gonna, if the client comes and tells me this is what another brand has done, it has worked for them, I want to do the same thing, then I'm not gonna do it. Because first thing is, like, I don't want like any work that's going out of my company to be a copied format. I'm really not okay with it, because I don't, honestly, like, even my boys agree with me on this, like, we don't, like, just because we are getting paid a lot, we don't want to do content that has been done so many times, because it has worked. Okay, fine, cool, but it's going out of our company. Like, I don't want to do copied stuff. So that's how I would like look upon it.
So at the end of the day, you guys are very purist when it comes to your form of storytelling, right?
100%.
So now, what's always difficult, I mean, is when you switch from this corporate track to this entrepreneurial track while being creative as well. So I just want to understand, like, what are the things you have to be like, oh, I'm really bad at this, I have to unlearn this and learn something completely new from scratch to figure out how to adjust to this new life. Because I can tell like 10,000 things I have to like unlearn, you know, like to make this work.
True, the main thing is the mindset, man. I have to just, that's the first thing, because when you're in the corporate field, right, all my goal was just to, I do this task, okay, now it's done.
100%.
That's it, right?
It ends there, right?
I just want to finish this and cool, I'm done. And I can just be like, I can respond to the client tomorrow. It's after 5. I'm not going to But when you have your own
thing,
this is our baby, man. Like, you can't. And it's tough. It's really tough, because I have to learn everything. At the start, director, PN, accountant, HR, everyone's you, bro. At the start, right? So you have to learn everything, and basically the mindset for me. It just doesn't end there. I have to always follow up with the client. I have to have a relationship with him, and
How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with what Amantha was saying. What I had to unlearn was, again, like, when I was working in corporate and all, I, like, 4:30, I'm done. Like, I've completed the tasks I've been given. I'm just like, okay, fine. But when you're doing your own thing, you're constantly thinking of ways on how to do things better, how to communicate things in a better way. The work just doesn't stop, and like it's kind of it's a love-hate relationship also, because for me, I'm like always like now irritated. I get snapped. I get irritated, but at the same time, it's nice. The stress is nice. I really enjoy the stress, and because, as you said, it's your own baby, right?
Yeah.
Like, like there's no no one's gonna come when I was working in corporate, like someone will come and tell me, okay, fine, why isn't this done? Like, when are you gonna finish it? But now no one's gonna tell me that. If I don't do it, no one's gonna get it done, and I have to push myself, and I'll make sure I'm pushing others also to do everything, to get everything done. Otherwise, no one's gonna do it. So that shift of like really taking ownership and building that discipline as to like just no matter what, there are a lot of things that I hate doing, but those things need to be done. Like for an example, I hate doing work in Excel sheets, and I'm doing the strategic planning and all. But I know I have to do it. That comes, you cannot do an agency and not do those things. Vidushi is there. As much as I enjoy doing the creative aspect of things, I also have to do these things, because I can't, right now at the start, I can't trust the person I'm hiring to do those, because if something goes wrong, everything goes wrong. Because it's the start, right? You're establishing that blueprint. So I feel like at the start, it was very uncomfortable. It still is, because just like Amantha, I'm also... we're just setting the foundation in terms of legal documentation, the blueprint, the SOPs and everything. It's really boring stuff, and it's really annoying stuff, but it has to be done. You just have to bite your tongue and push through and get it done, because I know once it is properly established, that is basically going to be like the fuel or the oil for the entire company to run seamlessly. So yeah, that's my answer.
So that mindset, guys, right? Like now that you all have experienced it and felt it, I have a feeling that's never gonna change, no matter what you all do next. So would you actually encourage people to adopt that mindset for a 9 to 5? Mainly because my reasoning would be that if you want to leave the 9 to 5, you better get used to thinking like this about the way you want to work.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're going to crash and burn on that first run real hard, and you probably never try again.
Yeah.
So would you guys recommend it? Yes or no? It's just like a yes or no.
Recommend in the sense?
I think
The ownership mindset of I have to get it done.
Yeah, true. I mean, but I don't think that'll necessarily work for 9 to 5. If you have that mindset in the corporate sector, I don't think you're just gonna get disappointed.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I had that, and they would just be like, no, you're too young for this promotion. No matter all that hard work, because there's overheads, and there are things you have to, kind of listen and just put your head down.
Yeah.
You can't have ownership in the corporate sector. But like Amantha Perera said it the best, if you want to do something of your own, don't just risk now. Then again, there's calculated risk. Like one of the biggest risks I took was obviously starting this, quitting my 9 to 5. But I did that because each company I learned every sector in terms of marketing.
Yeah.
Full-fledged marketing, you have to know what meta ads is, and you have to do your SEO side of things. You need to do copywriting. You have to be an intern. You have to know basically how to even create a pitch. From B to C marketing, B to B marketing, you need to understand clients from different sectors. And that was all, I learned everything in every job I learned it. So that is calculated risk. And I won't just be like, don't go just shoot in the dark. But if you do all of that, I feel like, yeah, sure, you can jump into.
No, same. My answer is also much similar to him. For me also, I worked, one of the biggest blessings I've had in my career is I've got the opportunity to work in most of the best corporate companies in Sri Lanka, but in different segments. For example, Akin Spence was sales and business development. Cinnamon Life was brand marketing, PR and content. Chanela was completely different. And then Rubik was completely different, media relations and stuff. So bits and pieces I'm able to take out of these years from experience, and now it's coming to life. For a person who's trying to come out of the 9 to 5 to becoming an entrepreneur, starting their own thing, this mindset is not an option. You have to have that mindset. Even if you don't like having it, there's no way around it, because it is your thing. You're gonna be constantly pressured for everything, right? With everything around, everything that revolves around the service you do, you're bound to answer all the questions. The clients are going to come to you. You have to constantly be on alert. For me, one of the things is for the past 3 weeks, I'm not able to fall asleep. Constantly, it's like a gazillion things going on in my head. I can't even intentionally stop thinking about it. I'm going to sleep at 2:30 and I'm up again by 7:30 for meetings. And for me, honestly, I was telling yesterday my friends, I honestly don't feel my soul in my body. It's just the body is just doing the work. It's just like doing. I can't like, it's like, yeah. So it's not an option. For me, I would say it's not an option. You have to adapt this mindset. If not, I don't think it's going to be easy.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be possible to be honest.
100%. If you take one day off,
Yeah,
just
man.
one day,
Yeah.
you're
Especially in
like,
the beginning, right?
Yeah.
that's like one thing I'm facing. I was used to a certain lifestyle, right? I do that now. It was like a cycle of absolute madness.
Madness,
bro.
yeah.
And I think like people make entrepreneurship to be super sexy. Like it's
So it's a beautiful painted canvas,
Yeah, no, it's
Masha.
very sexy, you know. Like,
Yeah.
and all this fucking Gary Vee and all this
Yeah.
problem. But I'm very honest, but the reality is 9 out of 10 startups always fail.
Yeah.
That's the outcome you can expect from the calculated risk
100%.
side.
Yeah.
You have a 10% chance of success. If you're not 150% into that 10%
Yeah.
chance and figuring it out, it's gonna fail. And you could be a genius and still fail. It's just how
for
things
sure,
are
yeah,
because of
yeah.
how predictable it is. So which is why I think you guys talking about is really important for me to get that out of you guys.
And I feel like it's a test match, bro. Again, it's
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
marathon.
It's a
You-
marathon.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
not a sprint.
It's a journey, man.
We've been doing this for a long time,
Exactly.
and even now I'm oh shit,
Yeah.
shit, we have to figure these things
Yeah,
out every single day. It
100%.
never changes.
Like, because when you start a venture, you just want to be like, okay, cool, I want to properly come out with a bang. And for organic launch, I like to talk also, bro. We came out with a solar campaign with a nice teaser phase with the vegetables, fruits, build the curiosity, because if people are going to come to us for advice about campaigns, we
Yeah.
have to deliver a solar
For sure,
campaign,
man.
right?
Yeah.
So I believe we did a very successful campaign with my company launch. But now, I didn't straight away go and open a massive office and
Yeah,
all of
yeah,
that,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Then come here,
Yeah.
So that's why I said it's a marathon.
Marathon.
Yeah, and it's also, I think, for the two of you, what you might be able to give advice on is it's one thing to be the guy doing the thing. It's one thing to be the guy managing the company.
Manage the company, yeah.
And that's two different mindsets because I think everyone starts as the guy who does the thing and then has to become the guy who's running the thing.
Yeah.
That decision making parameter is different. You'd be no, we have to let that person go. You'd be yeah, no, I'm not working with them. You'd be no, we have to let them go. Those are not decisions people think are fun at all.
Yeah.
But that's your everyday life, after that certain step you take into that leap of faith. I think people need to understand that when you have a lot of people who are working within your company, you're responsible for their lives.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
yeah.
the thing.
If you
100%.
mess up and make a really terrible call, and let's say something happens, let's say no one expected COVID, but it happened. Let's say something similar happens, knock on wood. You're gonna have to tell someone don't worry, I got you, or sorry, I didn't have you, so it's over. Those are the stakes that you work with, and mental pressure is immense, right?
Yeah.
So it's still really inspiring though at the end of the day, because seeing people try is what you want to see.
Yeah,
for sure.
You don't
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
see people being no, that looks too hard, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
So it's a fine line between those things. Before we start wrapping things up, I want to sort of jump into some. I don't know if you should talk about what we talked about off camera, but talking about a couple rapid fire questions. We'll start there. We'll see if you have time to circle back to that, because I know you guys have to make a move as well. Let's just start off really simple. Just yes or no, one word answers, blah blah blah. Let's just do the rapid fire thing. And there's one more rapid fire that no one's really a big fan of, but I'm a big fan of.
No, let's do it.
No one likes it, only me. So we'll start with the one I
Let's do
think is more interesting, and then we'll go to my one. So rapid fire, one word answer, okay? Y'all both can just take turns on answering at the same time. Okay. One word to describe your creative voice.
Put that.
Unhinged.
Unhinged.
Authentic.
Most overrated advice in branding or entrepreneurship.
Most overrated advice. Play it safe.
Oh.
I'll share in entrepreneurship, everyone says you have to work hard. No, I really don't think, you have to work hard, but also then there needs to be a fine balance between working hard and working smart, because you can be working hard but going in the freaking dark, not knowing where you're going. But if you're working smart, working smart, knowing exactly these are the outcomes of the time and effort I'm putting in, you're much more to play it safe. So work hard, but at the same time work smart.
Okay. For the next question, keep it to Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Because that will make it a bit more difficult as well. But also be a bit more,
Global thinking.
So the question is, a brand you deeply admire and why?
Okay.
in Sri Lanka.
In Sri Lanka, no? Okay.
You have to give props where.
Yeah,
no, like, you give
100%.
props.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
like,
I
can't
was
be
all
talking
thinking
about
of,
the,
I was all thinking if I want to answer a local grown brand,
Yeah,
not a global
just go
brand.
for it, like a
Yeah.
brand you. So we'll just take that as like this thing. A brand you deeply admire and why?
I would say two.
Okay.
Crepe Runner
Uh-huh.
and Carnage.
Nice. Super.
Okay. For me, I would go with one of my recent clients, Ra, because I'm really on board and I support the brands that really try to tell the stories of uplifting poor communities and Sri Lankan culture. So Ra is not just a beverage brand; they are trying to tell the stories of the poor communities that harvest and cultivate the native fruit king coconut, right? And the base is king coconut, but it's developed with multiple flavors. So the entire brand positioning and in terms of content and brand positioning strategy is telling the stories of Sri Lankan culture and uplifting these communities so they can have a betterment of life. So I really admire their vision and their mission.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, but basically why I like Crepe Runner a lot is he really perfected, like Salam, founder-based marketing. And there's a lot of innovative stuff, like with the comic books and stuff. I don't tell him this much, but he's doing a pretty good job, especially
100%.
showing the hustle of being an entrepreneur. I'm
yeah.
opening this out and I'm traveling here. He has documented everything.
Yeah.
And I really respect that and I love
his
it.
name came up at the previous podcast as well.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
Crepe Runner came up, and I think mad executor, right?
Yeah,
mad
man.
getting
Like,
things
You
done.
can see the hustle and I like it. I
Like,
respect
and
it.
I think he was a really good basketball player.
He was
From
a
what I
coach.
remember.
He was a coach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that, and like
Yeah.
an injury, and then he pivoted here. So
Yeah.
I'm guessing like that energy and like ambition. Boom.
Yeah.
Perfect.
He's
I mean,
he's a
Go-getter, no?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a go-getter and he's a serial executor, bro.
Yeah,
like he
yeah,
doesn't
exactly.
care about what
100%.
people think. He's just like, let's get it done.
See, everyone has ideas. All of us
Yeah.
Bro, different story, right?
Yeah.
So,
God.
props to him.
One of the things I really appreciated, which I properly noticed, was now this kunafa thing, whatever, it was trending, right? He quickly jumped on it. Like
did,
in
yeah.
2-3 days, he had an entire setup. Like, and he didn't even tell me this. I understood the entire process visually through his stories, right? Like he set up a team. They introduce a new thing and they have like kunafa
Really?
crepes going on.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. And
Okay.
I just love the fact how he just
See,
like
that's the thing. As a founder, he's okay to like do it. He
Do it,
wants to
yeah,
be
yeah.
agile and relevant.
Yeah.
Now, if we send something relevant this week to the
Yeah,
client,
yeah,
he or she takes about 4 days to go through it.
Minimum
get
3 meetings, right?
Yeah, get the approval and everything.
yeah.
By the time you get the approval and the heads up, sorry, thumbs up, you're done.
Done, yeah.
The
Make
moment's
a
gone, the flavor's
everything's
gone,
gone.
the idea
Yeah.
is lost, and no one is replying. Fair enough. Well, okay, next one. What's a campaign or creator that recently inspired you? Sri Lankan again. You gotta give props, guys.
Campaign or creator that recently inspired me.
not been seeing any inspiring things out of Sri Lanka. I'm being very honest, man.
Okay.
I'm being very honest. Because I want to... No, please, go answer.
No,
Like,
nothing.
I'll put one out.
Because okay.
Shit, not that I think about wrong brand. But, oh, that's a terrible one. Because like they did this AR setup for Women's Day. I think it was Unilever.
Oh, okay.
Right, okay.
I could be wrong, guys. I'm sorry if I am. But they put QR codes in like major hotspots, and you could scan and you could AR visual of a strong female figure from Sri Lankan history that doesn't get recognized.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
So that I thought was very cool. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't have any like ROI based thing. It's about
Yeah, it's
giving
just-
props
yeah,
where
yeah.
props is due.
Yeah.
That was something I thought was very interesting. What else recently? I mean, a lot of feminine care product brands have been doing really good job of destigmatizing.
Right.
Those campaigns have been really interesting for me to see. I mean, I personally follow both of you also.
Yeah.
The Carnage campaign was really interesting to me because I just thought it was a really good story told in a way that was patient. Like a lot of us might got rush because I know in the first 3 seconds, every 3 seconds you'd have something happening.
Yeah,
You gotta keep those-
yeah.
But no, it was like a nice story that was told. So there's some things that come to my mind at the moment. But like, how about you guys?
I think for me, the recent Sparsilon campaign, I really love the approach they took.
The animated one, is
Not
it?
the animated one. Where like, I think this for Women's Day, they didn't decide to do like a crazy campaign. It was very authentic of Charlene just setting up the phone and talking to the camera. I think that approach of authentic, like just raw content really resonated with me. Because every single time, like this Women's Mother's Day campaign, you just see the same thing. But they took a different approach, and it takes a lot of like gut and courage to actually take that approach. Because once you take that approach for your campaign, there's no going back. Entire thing could go wrong. but I love the fact that they took a risk and they approached it in a different way. So I think that was pretty inspiring.
I think more than a campaign, I would say this recent video actually, Carnage did. I always win that video where this guy, the boxing thing, and he has
Right,
prosthetic
right.
leg.
Yeah.
For some reason, it just looked very, I don't know, like Nike level production, right? I think it was Studio Lane that did it, so props to you guys as well. I usually very rarely share stuff also, but I actually shared that on my socials
Nice.
as well, saying yeah, props where props is due, man, like super stuff.
Amazing.
Yeah, the quality of that video was very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
So like, I mean, for me, this is such a nice thing because there are teams like 10, 20, 30, 40 people who are like us
Yeah.
who managed to make that happen, which is something we, I think, in our own businesses try to now cultivate. So this for me is like always nice to hear people giving props.
Exactly.
Because I don't think we do it enough, very honestly. Okay, next, strategy or instinct? What drives your best decisions?
Strategy or
Instinct.
strategy?
For me, it's a balance of both.
Balance
worlds.
of both, yeah.
Yeah, because I could like when I'm tackling on like a project, 80% of the data could say one thing, but there's a small voice inside me. Fuck it, let's just try it. But
And that instinct is what makes it authentic.
Authentic, exactly.
So
yeah,
you
yeah,
go
yeah.
in with strategy,
Yeah.
but your instinct is what is going to make it authentic.
Authentic. Yeah.
It's a mix of
100%. Okay, lovely. What's the first thing you do when you hit a creative block?
I do 3 things. Immediately I stop working, I start procrastinating. I go on YouTube, watch a bunch of like office videos, friends videos, or I go take a half an hour nap. If not, I take a shower, go to gym. That's it. Yeah.
I just relax. That's it. I put everything aside and I start binge watching YouTube.
YouTube, right? Or TikTok.
Logan Paul,
Yeah.
Sidemen.
Yeah,
I'm just watching See, why I started this was because I enjoyed watching creators.
Yeah.
And I see where they are right now. Sidemen, for example, Logan Paul, Jake Paul. They were just doing vines for 7
Vines,
seconds.
yeah.
If they can do it, bro, I'm 100% sure that we can do
sure.
it as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
They are now selling out Wembley stadiums. They have their own reality TV shows. It's insane. So I just go back to that,
The
why I
roots, yeah,
started.
yeah.
What got you hooked on it?
So I just watch those videos, try to forget everything, and then.
Superb.
Man, Vines was a great way of marketing. Back
Vine's
then.
coming back, by the
circling,
way.
yeah, huh?
Vine's coming back.
Really?
Musk, when he bought
Oh, nice,
Twitter,
okay.
Twitter had bought Vine, and
Damn.
now he's going to bring it back.
Vines
Seven
was
seconds.
Vines,
Which is going
bro,
to be
yeah.
such a trip
Yeah,
to
yeah.
see. It's going to be a mad campaign for them to get it back. I
Yeah,
feel like TikTok will 100% have a mad campaign.
Yeah.
Because all that data, they had peak. I mean,
Yeah.
Vine
Yeah,
Group was peak.
yeah, peak, bro. Yeah.
It was Musically before that, yeah?
Yeah.
No, it was Vine, Musically, then it turned to
Yeah,
TikTok.
Was it? Yeah, exactly.
Vines was
But
like
Vines will
2013,
compete with-
12, bro.
King Batch Logan.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right, okay, next question. One thing you'd never compromise on in your work?
Quality.
The creative freedom.
Creative.
Yeah, creative freedom, 100%. Yeah.
Okay. One myth about entrepreneurship you'd love to kill forever?
I had this. I thought about this answer, but I forgot.
Can we chat GPT this, bro?
One myth
ChatGPT,
about
would you kill ChatGPT?
entrepreneurship.
No, the lifesaver.
They'll
I
kill
love ChatGPT
forever.
more than my girl, bro, at this point.
Why is ChatGPT is giving a good hand?
It's a mad therapist.
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah, bro.
Too deep, I think.
That does use it properly.
Yeah, 100%.
Myth about entrepreneurship.
Myth about entrepreneurship.
Yeah, myth about.
Oh, you have to know everything before starting. You can learn in the process.
True. Yeah.
That's true.
Nothing's coming to my head right now.
That's fine. Right, okay, I'll make this the last one. Finish the sentence. Success is?
Success is, for me, it's just peace. In terms of just everything. Spiritually to physically to everything. Mentally, it's just peace. Financial freedom, everything. That is peace.
For me, I mean, I'm going to answer this from a very personal point of view. For me, success is impacting people's lives through, by telling stories for them, they're not able to tell those stories. For an example, like I would like to be the voice for the voiceless in terms of verbally and visually. Because I want to tell impactful stories, and if I know I've impacted a certain community or even a person through like a keynote speech or like a video of mine, I think it's a continuous effect, but that is what success is.
Impact.
Yeah, impact.
Success
Yeah,
is
yeah.
impact.
Yeah.
Okay. It's 12:35. Do you want to give my not popular questions?
Yeah, go
for it.
Yeah, okay, cool. This is strictly one word, okay? Like stick with one word for sure. Right, okay. How do I introduce this? Yeah. So, okay, now I'm going to ask some questions that have been asked over decades and decades. This has a long tradition of ending interviews with these set of questions. So I'm going to run them by you, just one word each.
Right.
And we'll go smash these out, okay? What's your favorite word?
Okay.
What's my favorite word? Honestly, man, these are like tough. Can you skip this? I
No. We can skip it. What's your least favorite word?
Put the intense questions.
Least favorite word.
Least favorite word. Okay. One word, no?
Yeah, one word. My creative boy is your
Jesus. It's not a word, it's a term. EOD.
Done. Oh my god, I hate that too. Bro, terrible word, huh? It's not a competition, but if it was, you'll be losing.
Yeah, I know. I'm totally fine with that also. But okay, hard work, I think. Again, like...
Least favorite?
Yeah, least favorite, yeah.
Hard work?
Yeah.
Okay, fair. What turns you on creatively, spiritually and emotionally?
What turns?
What turns me on creatively, spiritually?
And emotionally.
Creatively, spiritually.
Inspiring people.
Going on a hike.
What turns you off?
On a woman? Or?
Creatively, spiritually and emotionally. I don't know if that works, but yeah, creatively, spiritually and emotionally. What turns you off?
No idea.
Yeah, but I don't have one word answer. But what properly puts me off is when a client says, "I need it ASAP." I need it ASAP. I'm just like, fuck no,
smart.
dude. Like, fuck off.
He got a point back up.
So that was a good one actually, yeah. What's your favorite curse word?
Curse word? Faggot.
Oh no, don't put that. Don't put that. Okay, what's your favorite curse word? What's your favorite curse word?
Cunt.
Okay.
Fuck off. Yeah. I love saying that to clients, bro.
What sound or noise do you love?
Sorry?
What sound or noise do you love?
Jesus, bro.
That's the sound.
No. What's the sound I love? When someone just is approved.
That was a good one.
Payment has been made.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Sound or
For me,
noise?
it's a weird sound. Okay, I really love the sound. Like this comes from a very Tamil background. Is you know that sound like chow.
Oh,
You know, like bishum. Yeah. So something like that. Yeah.
What sound or noise do you hate?
Anyone chewing gum.
Yeah. Even if when I'm working, someone's like. Yeah.
That's actually, yeah. What other profession than your own would you like to attempt?
Sorry.
What other profession than your own
Okay.
would you like to attempt?
It's crazy because, I like to be a stand-up comedian. I'm a stand-up comedian. Musician, I'm a musician.
What's the other thing?
Oh, we can talk about that whole music side actually.
Hold it, I think.
Nah, come up, man.
It's
fine.
Yeah.
But
What else?
yeah,
I'd like to be an actor one day.
done.
Nice. For me, a lawyer.
Now.
Yeah, because I was actually I was going to study to become a lawyer because I was good in talking and from
Yeah.
school they were training me. I was actually supposed to join RI with my friend.
Yeah.
And then he was like, yeah, bro, you have to study for 7 years. I was like, Nah, man. I'm out. I can't do that.
Hiregi, Leliot, by the time he becomes a lawyer.
Done. Okay, last question. One word. We can take one if you want. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Can I answer? Yeah. You've done good, son. Welcome. You did good, son. Welcome. Yeah.
Yeah, something along the lines of that. Yeah, it would be come say hi to your parents.
Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah.
Fuck me.
I think that was my answer.
Yeah.
That should have been my answer. Yeah.
Guys, I think I'm done.
Do you want to say hi to your parents?
Because that got me fully. Okay, awesome. So, guys, I thank you so much. I know we have limited time. We couldn't get through every single thing, but I
Yeah.
feel like if you can have you back sometime in the future, would love to have you guys back. I feel like there's so much more we can go into. But
Yeah.
thank you for taking the time.
Thank you for having us,
We're gonna
man.
try
Yeah,
to
thank you
make
for having
this,
us.
I
TSA.
think just from listening to you guys, like the reality is there's a lot of people with like unspoken like hopes and dreams and also doubts. And I think you guys have helped make their hopes and dreams a little bit more feasible, practically implementable, and also like eliminated some doubts by like breaking that down. So I really appreciate you all taking the time to come here and do that, because it's like Stefan also said, it's not just about us, it's about like the impact you have as well.
Exactly.
And like that really rewards people, and that's kind of why we do this as well, so that we can break that apart a little bit and be like, hey, look, it's just people doing really cool things, nothing superhuman at all. It's a very human thing to do.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much for taking the time. Really means a lot that you all take.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Shout out Romini, even though she's not here.
Producer Auntie is not available today. This is all self-managed without producer Auntie. So I think we did okay, I think. So thank you guys again. Thank you so much.
Thanks
Really
so much.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Lovely. All right. Peace, guys. Peace out.
Bye.
See you. Bye.